can't wait to be hearing all about what she's up to. She's joining us from over in WA, so we're 3 hours time zone. What do we say? We're in a whole completely different time zone. Yes, so welcome, Carmel. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, my time, today, your time.
Thank you so much, Kylie. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Yay. So are you right in Perth, or are you in another town outside of somewhere in WA?
I'm about 25 minutes out from the city. So I am a little bit more suburban-ish, although if you may hear every now and again in the background, I do have a rooster or whatever. So it's suburban, but it's not out in the country, but yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Nice. I'm in a tiny village. So just about 40.
Bangalore, isn't it?
Pardon?
Bangalore.
Yeah, Bangalore, yes.
Bangalore. So I know somebody there.
Oh, no way. I'm 10 minutes in from Byron Bay and about 40 minutes to the Queensland border. So it's a good little spot until 3 weeks ago, of course, with the floods. But aside from that, it's, you know, a nice spot to be. And my little tiny village is lovely and so nice that we can communicate with people all over the world and, you know, 100%. Live anywhere we like to, which is so wonderful, isn't it? We love technology for that.
Yes, absolutely.
And where are you from originally, Carmel?
So I'm originally from a small town in Ireland, right on the east coast of Ireland, just down from Dublin, a little seaside town called Wicklow. Yeah.
Beautiful. How long have you been in Australia?
33 years.
Oh, goodness.
Not that you can always tell with this accent, though.
I love it. Well, I've been in Australia for 25 years. So I was in England for 3 years before that, and I grew up in New Zealand. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I never planned on not going back to New Zealand. I just went for a few years, and then it's all.
No, I emigrated to Australia. I already was married and had 2 children when we came to Australia. So I didn't do the work and holiday visa or anything like that. I came out here to live.
Had you visited first?
No. I've always been a little bit crazy. I've always been an adventurer, an explorer. I've always I've had this curiosity bone in my body always. And when I met my ex-husband, his mum might have told you that I convinced him to come to Australia, but we talked about it, and at that time it was actually quite hard. Ireland was in a bit of a recession. So I had an uncle out here in Australia. So I thought, oh, this is a good opportunity. And my ex-husband was a plumber. And plumbers are what were needed in Australia at the time. So we had our second child, so my middle daughter. And as soon as we had her, off we came. We landed here with a 6-year-old and an 8-month-old.
And did you know straight away that you had arrived in the right place?
No, absolutely not. In actual fact, interesting story. So we arrived, my uncle had actually rented a house for us, ready for us. So the house was rented. So we had bond, a month's rent in advance and a month's rent due when we arrived. And after we were in that house for 6 months, we decided to go and live in a flat, an apartment. Had just bought a TV, just got enough money together, just bought a car. The warranty of the car was up on the Sunday, and the car blew up on the Saturday. And the new apartment we were in got broken into and everything got stolen. So no, I hated it, and I got bitten by a spider. So I hated this country.
Oh no! What a time! Oh my goodness, that's shocking.
But we did the obligatory. So after about 2 years, we had another child. So my son. And then we decided we had actually done okay by then. We had bought a block of land and got new furniture, whatever. And my ex-husband decided, no, I want to go back to Ireland and bring my son home, kind of thing. So we packed up everything. We shipped all of the furniture to Ireland, sold our block of land. After 2.5 years here, I went back to Ireland.
For how long?
We ended up in Ireland for about 2.5 years, had to sell everything to just try and get back. because there was no work again. There was no nothing. And people that we had left, they loved seeing us come for a holiday. Because remember, way back over 30 years ago, you kind of left, thought you'd never come back.
Yeah.
But after the first 6 weeks, like they went back to their normal life and we weren't part of that anymore. So we were left with, working way back then for a bit of cash in hand and, really, yeah, it was really
how tricky. So did you all as a family come back again?
Yes. And that was it. I go to visit Ireland. I love visiting Ireland. But I have never, ever, ever wanted to go back and live in Ireland. Ever.
Wow.
No.
So my daughter's born on St. Patrick's Day, and I have never been to Ireland, but it was always a plan that we would take her once she was of drinking age and we would drink Guinness, which is funny because I hate beer. I'm never going to drink that. And she turned 18 last year, but has no interest in drinking. So it's like, well, I'm still going to take you to the pubs in Ireland one day. But,
take her to the pubs just for the crack. It doesn't even matter if you drink the crack, as you say. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I definitely look forward to doing that with her. Sometimes some of the movies that come out of Ireland, I really, really enjoy. So we really love that part of the world. So
Vikings. Have you seen Vikings?
No.
Vikings is actually made near my hometown. A lot of the background people are all people I know.
I love that. I'm definitely going to go and check that one out then. That'll be next on my list of series to binge. I do love a bit of binging. So then tell me, how did you then get involved in your business now? And how did you come up with the name?
Oh, yeah, that was fast forward after away all that stuff. So I was here in Australia and my background is hospitality. So I had worked for many, many years in hospitality. I'm very passionate about team building and leadership and all that sort of stuff. But as we do, you kind of get a bit dissatisfied or hang on, my kids are grown a little bit. There's something I want to do. So I was a single mom for many years with 3 children. And then I was working for, I was a manager of a recruitment company. And I was like, there has to be something else. We had a 24-hour call line. It was driving me nuts. So I actually found coaching. That's what I did, which I'm sure a lot of people have done. Through that process over a few years, I did retreats and this and that and the other. And it was one coaching session that I had with a very dear friend of mine that brought out the name, the Communication Queen, because that was my passion, was all about effective communication. It's like, just because you said it and you think I've heard it, doesn't mean that we've actually communicated. That's a big illusion. And that's kind of how, and it came out of a visualization or whatever, and it has stuck with me. Although when I started the business was not where it is now. The name has actually still been the same umbrella the whole time. It's never, overall changed, because now I work with video in a digital way. And it's still about being able to communicate a message and get people to engage and things like that. So that's how the Communication Queen was born about 12 years ago.
It's perfect, isn't it? And my degree was in communications. And so I very much understand the world you're talking about, because yes, like we had to do every form of communications. I majored in TV and radio, but it could have been majoring in writing or anything. There's so many different ways to be communicating. We had to even do political studies and all kinds of stuff. So the communication.
And I never even went to uni to study any of that. I was just passionate about how do people work and how do they communicate with each other.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Fascinating. Well, that's a great story. I love how you got there and that you've been able to keep it with you and evolve with it. Yeah. I often talk with clients about evolving of your business and business names and things, because my previous business, which was an e-commerce business, I changed the name after a few years and I knew it was going to be a massive process. It was incredibly hard to do. So I gave it a year, to evolve over a whole year, which was great. But it's tricky. So I knew with Hello Media, when I was naming it, had to be short, had to be easy, had to be one that you could spell, without people going, oh, what's that? So there was lots of things behind the scenes of why that needed to be so simple. But I also felt like media can cover anything as well. Yeah. So felt like probably now I might even I might have changed it. Actually, what I really wanted was Hello World. But
Right.
I didn't know that that was a travel agency, like massive worldwide. But I didn't know that. I just loved it. The very first thing that was typed when the World Wide Web went live was Hello World. So I
Right.
thought that's a cool name, but no, travel agency. So shame. But I did think so that would come under a banner of lots of things, wouldn't it? That you could to run underneath that. So tell me something interesting about yourself that people wouldn't know.
Ooh, that's an interesting question. Something interesting that people wouldn't know, completely off anything other than I won a disco dancing competition when I was about 15. Not many people would know that.
I love that. That's so good. I hope you've videos of that.
Yeah, dancing to Rah Rah Rasputin, actually. Yeah.
Well, that is definitely a claim to fame. I hope you've got a little trophy for that or something.
Yeah, I did actually. I don't know where it is now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's so great. So tell us a little bit about how your business operates. How do you run it in terms of what you do with your clients?
Sure. Well, I have 2 or 3 different areas that I work with clients. I obviously still work with some of my clients one-on-one. And that's very much meet you where you're at and, helping them. And it's always about their visibility, and how to get people to engage with them and how to get more customers. Usually, whether it's on social media or whether it's through email or whatever, but it's really getting to communicate with those people. The other thing that we have just launched, actually, which is very exciting, it's called the Promo Video Blueprint. So that is part of our membership. We've worked on that for months. I work quite closely with a young copywriting girl. So we have made it such a ridiculous no-brainer. And it's a full online course, 3 modules, which is prepare, produce, and publish. So it's around video so video is our front door, if you like. And you also get a full workbook with that. Then you get weekly calls with that. And then every 4 to 6 weeks, you get a full day's training of the techie stuff. So quite often I find some of my clients I know I'm not stupid, I know I can do stuff, but I'm not quite sure how to work that bloody thing. So we really support and walk them through step by step how to form their message. Because the techie stuff, let's face it, and you know this, Kylie, anyone can learn it if somebody walks them through. But really crafting your message to put into an amazing video and set of images that can attract that person to you because they know you have the solution. So we teach people how to do that. And then behind all that, as you would know, would be the marketing campaigns and everything comes with that. But the front door is I help people really, and I teach them how to make their own promotional videos, even if they don't want to put their face to camera, which some of them don't want to. You and I are fine, Kylie. We love putting our faces. But some people don't want to put it. They don't want to have to put on the makeup, make the lights right and everything. So there's ways of making those amazing videos without having to do that. And you can make them in 15 minutes. So we teach people how to do that.
Brilliant. And I think I read somewhere that you use Wave. Is that right?
No.
InVideo.
InVideo. Yeah.
Oh, because I use InVideo and Wave and sometimes Laura. But I knew it was one of them that I used.
Yeah. It's look, it's InVideo, which again, you can go on and you would know InVideo guys are great. They're amazing support and they have so many things. But if you haven't got your message crafted to who it is you're talking to, it really doesn't matter what kind of video you make because it's not going to talk to the people. So that's why I work quite closely with a young established copywriter. So we really kind of get the message flowing. We actually even give our members a script, the structure of a script, but we give them a ready-made script so they can work on the technical stuff. Then they can go off and we can really massage their message. And that's what the weekly calls are for is, okay, I've got this. I think this is right. What do you think? And we also show them how to research that.
I love it. I think that's so cool. And I totally agree with you about the platform. It doesn't matter what platform you're using. If you actually got everything else figured out, then, it's the same with Canva. In my background, a graphic designer, etc. And so I'm very conscious that people need the ability to make their own graphics because, have to be posting on socials all the day. You don't want to be paying a graphic designer to do that. But just because the platform is there doesn't mean that everybody can do a good job of what they're trying to, create to present out to the world.
Yeah.
So I totally agree. What I think so good about invideo, so I met them 2 years ago, so at 2020, or it might have been 2019 Social Media Marketing World in the States, and they had a booth there, and Murray Smith was just becoming one of their ambassadors, etc. And I got picked. I was very excited. I got picked to go into a private session with them and Murray. It wasn't that private. There was 50 of us, but that was 7,000 that they were picking from. So that was super, super exciting. So then I started using invideo. So originally I was with Promo, which is very expensive, and Wave, and then Wave put their prices up. So I was like, I'm going to give invideo a go. It can't be get that good if it's that reasonably priced.
Yes.
Anyway, so it blew my mind. That was so good. And then one night I was trying to prepare something that needed to be launched by midnight or something. This is a couple of years ago. And I was really struggling. So I got on their chat. It was about 11:30 at night. I got on their chat. And then all of a sudden the dude goes, do you want to jump on a Zoom with me and we'll just figure it out together? I'm like, are you for real? Yes, I want me some of that. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they are amazing.
Winning. You're absolutely winning on all fronts. So
yeah.
I was very, very impressed. And it's a great platform. What's intriguing me is how they come up with new things.
And this is
recently, but one of the new things from a little while ago was taking one of your blogs and turning that into a video. Like, how cool is that? So,
I know, I love getting the script together with our people and showing them how to put the script in, and it actually makes the whole framework of the video for you. It's like, what the hell? And the support. Look, like you, I've used lots of different ones, but I've just found their support, they're upgrading all the time, the templates that they have and everything are just second to none.
Yeah,
they just
I really agree. They're so good. So I think for all of those people listening thinking they've got to be doing more video, definitely get in touch with Carmel, because it sounds like a great program. And just because that platform's available, it doesn't mean you definitely still need to learn how to actually make the most of it and get what you need out of it. So that's cool. So tell me, what's your top tip for sharing that you can share for women that are starting out in business?
Oh gosh, how long do we have? One of the things is, and I'm not sure if this is your story as well, Collie, was I sat on having a side gig for many years. So I was in a job, but I was a coach, and I was trained as a coach, and I was training other coaches is actually what I was doing, but I still had to work because I couldn't make a business out of it. So one of the things is, and look, it probably was leveraged for me. 5 years ago, my sister passed away, but 6.5 years ago, she was diagnosed. And it was around that time, that stuff really, because she was the same age as I am now. And it was kind of like I don't care what anyone thinks anymore. I just don't. I'm going to do what I want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. And I'm going to, not die with my song still in me, if you like. And I think for women in business, it's very important to realize people think they're running out of time. No, you're not. You were given all of this time. You're just focusing it in the wrong spot. So if you have a dream or a burning need or want or desire to build a business or do whatever, take a step and do it. And if you don't know how to do it, find someone that's done it and get them to support you to do it. But don't sit there and not do it.
Oh, I think that's such a wonder. Oh, I've just something. Oh, I lost you for a moment. It was really what the hell? I think that's a really, 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 really incredibly wise piece of advice. And clearly that's coming from you from something really full on, like the passing of your sister. And like you're in a scenario like I was talking about with you earlier before we came live about my husband. And it just makes you realize what's important, doesn't it? And
what's not. More important, what's not.
Equally,
I'm afraid they're going to think I'm silly, or I'm going to think that. Who gives a toss? You're going to drop down in their bloody feed pretty quick. Yeah.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Well, I really thank you for sharing that. That's a really great piece of advice there. I really love that one. I have one more question for you, and that is, do you have a mantra or a quote or a word or something that you live by, or in business I'm talking about, that keeps you motivated or keeps you on track?
Well, one of the things more recently, actually, a client put it under a post of mine, and I went, yes, that's it. And it's kind of always been there, but not as succinct as this. And it was like, it's never too late to be great.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's never, because, like, you know, I'm a gray hair grandmother and I'm doing stuff, and people go, oh, you don't look like a gray hair granny. Well, technically, though, I am. And I saw a quote from Jennifer Aniston after that going, what was it she said? You're not a carton of milk with an expiration date. So, and I thought it's so true. So you're never too late. This old, and I think it really came, Collie, for me. I used to go back and forth to Ireland to see my parents before they passed away. And they came out here once as well, which was amazing. But in latter years, as I went to go and see them, I found that they had slowed down. But some of it was almost because that's what they were told to do. You're too old, you can't do that. You're too old, you can't do this. So they used to sit in two recliners and had the big TV the other side of the room. And I used to go, oh my God, it's like God's waiting room. But that's kind of like what it was. And I went, who says we have to? Who decides that because I'm the other side of 55 that I should slow down? Who's the boss of me? Like, that's not okay. So I'm the youngest of 5 daughters, and even sometimes my sisters will say, oh yeah, but wait till you're another few years, you'll have the aches and pains we have. And I'm going, and that's not being negative to my sisters. I think it's a societal thing. And I'm going, no, that doesn't have to be the way just because society tells us we're too old. So I think that mantra is, it's like, it's never too late to be great. So don't come to me and say, oh, Carmel, I'd really love to grow my business, but I'm too old now. No, you're not.
No, you're not. I love that. You're never too old to be great.
Never too late to be great.
Never too late to be great. Sorry, never too late. I know. I just think that's so good, so good. What a wonderful piece of advice for everyone, not just women in business.
Yeah,
but
we do, because we wait till the kids get older. We wait till this has happened. We wait till that's happened. We wait till we retire, and that's what my sister was waiting for. She had paid all her supers, all her everything, and when she was retiring, she was going to have this great time. And then poof, she was gone. I was like, no, I'm going to have the great time now, and I can keep going for as long as I can keep going.
How old was she when she passed?
She was 58.
So my dad was 48. And no warning, nothing. He just had a heart attack out of the blue. Oh, no. He was in mid-conversation and then put his head back. And I was 25 at the time. And it's clearly changed my entire life, because my husband and I were both, he wasn't my husband at the time, but we were living in Sydney. We were working crazy hours, like crazy to get ahead and all that. We were young and just doing it. And then within a year, that's when we moved to Byron Bay, and we completely changed our lives. We earned like a third of what we were earning in Sydney, but we've had a very glorious life here for the last 22 years, because we learned that anything can change in a second. He wasn't even at the stage your sister was of, planning for what might be the next step, just in the midst. And funny, and
that's nearly worse, because you didn't get to say goodbye. At least we had some time. But then, to make things worse, within 6 weeks, my dad died from a broken heart. He could not cope to one of his 5 daughters that died. Just literally couldn't cope.
Oh my goodness!
And he was in Ireland. Yeah,
we had a lot of things like that. We lost 3 people. Like, I ended up in hospital not long after my dad died, because 6 weeks after he died, my grandmother died, and 6 weeks after that, one of our best friends died. It just went boom, boom, and I've never experienced someone dying before that.
No,
At 25, my life just changed forever. There was never going to be.
And it does change forever. You're right.
Life is pre-grief, post-grief. and you're not the same person on either side of those things. It's very interesting. It was definitely the turning point for me with my then boyfriend, now husband, is that the way he was with me through that period was so extraordinary that I knew he's the one for sure.
Yes,
that's going to be. But then that made it harder when he had his accident, because then I was like, I actually now need that support from you while I go through this. But of course, did it actually do him? So yeah, it's been a very, very intriguing journey. So I'm taking that one with me tonight, what you've just said about it's never too late to be great. I just think it's absolutely wonderful. You've ended us up on a beautiful, beautiful note. And I thank you so much for sharing that time with me. I feel like I've got 5 million more questions, but we'll save those. We'll do part 2 one day and join up again across the opposite sides of the country as we are. And so thank you so much for joining me this evening, or this afternoon for you. And chatting about a little bit about you and your background, because it's always, I love hearing about how people arrive into these magnificent situations.
Awesome. Thank you for having me and asking me the questions.
Oh, wonderful. So we'll put in the caption all the ways that people can get in touch with you. And I'll look forward to chatting with you next time, or seeing you Positive Passionate Businesswomen online meetups. We'll see you in the Zoom room again one day soon.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.
I've been chatting with Carmel Murphy, who is the communication queen, and I am mowbray-allen from Hello Media, and this is for Positive Passionate Businesswomen. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been great to have you here with us. And thank you, Carmel. Have a wonderful afternoon.